Joining me now is our in-house law firm. Andrew Weissman is the former general counsel at the FBI and a senior member of special counsel Robert Mueller's team. Neal Katyal is the former acting U.S. Solicitor General. So, Andrew, we always know what you think because you are very prolific on Twitter. But I wanted to ask you, last night at a rally, Donald Trump basically said this is a gigantic victory, essentially, a court victory for him. What did you think when you read that ruling?
Well, that's a lot like his saying that after an impeachment, he was, exonerated, or
right?
the Mueller report exonerated
Yes.
him. I mean, so look, that's his spin. I do think there's a factual component to this ruling and a legal component.
Yeah.
It's great that you're focusing on the sort of misleading headlines. The factual component is not just the bottom line that you read where the judge says, I find that he incited, but she goes through a litany of his history of violent rhetoric. And let me just give you one example from the ellipse, which I think many people had not focused on, was the judge said, this is from Donald Trump's exact words, when you catch somebody in a fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules. And then he talked about fighting over and over and over again. I mean, that was the very explicit finding with enormous support. And then I'm sure Neal's going to talk a lot about the legal ruling, but just here's my lay, non-legal view. The idea that people passed this part of the Constitution saying if you engage in insurrection, you cannot hold any office except the presidency seems crazy.
It doesn't make sense.
At all.
That is a lay legal view-ish.
Yes,
and a legal
exactly.
View. So, Neal, I think one of the big questions here is kind of what happens from here. A lot of the reporting suggests it could go to the Colorado Supreme Court next and then ultimately to the Supreme Court. You're very familiar with these processes. Walk us through kind of what could happen from here.
Yeah, so I do argue appeals for a living, and I lived part of the year in Colorado, so I'm very familiar with the Colorado Supreme Court. And, I think, Andrew, and you have got it exactly right. If I were to put the headline on Friday night as an appeals lawyer, it would be, this is the very worst decision Donald Trump could get from the trial court, because it's going to go on appeal to the Colorado Supreme Court, perhaps the U.S. Supreme Court, and there Trump is going to face extreme headwinds. And the reason for that is the factual there's two parts, as Andrew says. There's the factual finding that the judge said, which is Trump committed insurrection. And then there's a legal part that the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to the office of the presidency. And on appeals, Jen, the factual findings get massive deference by the appeals court. It's almost impossible to overturn a trial judge's factual finding. You can overturn the legal findings because that's basically a fresh look at the legal thing. And here this judge factually made devastating findings against Trump and then looked at this legal technicality, which was, well, the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to the office of the president, which is so weak, even the judge themselves admitted that this would be preposterous. And the reason for that is that there are other parts of the Constitution that say that the president is an office holder of the United States, which is kind of obvious. And the text, and the part you didn't bold when you flashed the 14th Amendment, says it applies to, quote, any office, civil or military, under the United States, as long as you've taken an oath. And of course, the president does take an oath. And it would be an insane reading otherwise. It would mean Jefferson Davis or Robert E. Lee could have run for the presidency in 1868. That cannot possibly be the law. And I don't think that it will command a majority of the Colorado Supreme Court or certainly the United States Supreme Court.
So you've argued a lot of cases before the Supreme Court. Would you take this case?
Hell yeah. I'm ready and willing to go.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.